There we go. Hey, afternoon, Shaggy SoCal with round two of the track guides for the upcoming races here for 2Old4Forza Thursday Night Thunder. Stand by a second. I need to reset the headset so that what you hear and what you see lines up. Three, two, one. All right, we're back. And hey, I actually remembered my checklist of getting everything done. So hopefully audio comes through fine. But second race for this Thursday is at Monza. Um, so we're going to race a Ferrari in Monza. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I think anyhow, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm doing or sounding all important. But let's just go ahead and get into the track guide. Same things I always do. So let's test drive. We'll run a couple out laps. I'm kind of surprised we're actually running the Monza with the chicane. I would have thought, historically maybe we wouldn't. We'd run the older one that doesn't have the first chicane here. But that's okay. Bumpy bumpy through the Curva Grande. Heading down to the second chicane. I'm wondering if third gear is probably better through there. Into Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. I always turn early there. Lesmo 2. Oh, a little too much curving on the exit. And up to a Scari. Might be the right way to do that. Scari's going to be sketchy. Off the line there, if that's okay. We'll do one more lap so I can see what the braking is like for the first chicane at full speed. A little bit early there. So I'm trying to look at well, what braking board am I actually braking at? Probably do the entry a little bit better, but third gear I think is a little bit better through there. And fourth through here. It's a little bit low in the range, but not terribly. A little bit early there, but generally I want to use as much of that inside curve as I can. Over abusing the curbing, but we'll talk about that a little bit when we want to do the track walk here on the next lap. Let's see if I do the parabolic any better. Okay, so let's do a quick track guide or track walk of Monza here. So 3, 150, 100. Okay. So So yeah, the nice thing, Monza, you do have the boards there to help. If you can't see the line, to kind of use the boards here on the left side to figure out like where do I need to brake at. So I think it is about the 150 board um, as far as braking for the first chicane. Second gear, this is going to be this one's going to be interesting, especially for those of us that or those of you that are going to have 4 or 5 cars in a bucket heading down here for turn one. So just be respectful, brake a little earlier if you're in traffic. Ideally, I'm going to try and use as much of the inside curbing as I can, and again, using the inside curbing without getting on the bread loaf or the sausage curbing, the red stuff here on the inside. So I'm going to use a little bit of this if I can. Once I'm off that inside curbing, exiting out here, I'm going to slowly, and again, it's I don't know if I've talked about this in previous ones, but this car, especially in second gear, the worst thing you can do is really get aggressive on the throttle while you still have steering dialed in. So a lot of times is, especially coming out of here, what I'm going to try and do is as I'm getting back to the throttle, as I'm adding throttle, I'm hopefully unwinding the wheel at the same time, so that if the wheels do spin up because I've gotten a little too aggressive, that the wheel is almost straight, so that if the back end does step out a little bit, I don't have so much steering in it that I'm getting into a tank slap or getting out of the corner. So unfortunately, I think second gear you're going to have to do, or we're going to have to do second gear out of this chicane. Keep it to the right side, up through the gears to the Curva Grande. And this one, you'll see in the mock race, you're going to see the driver tars, the line or the path that they take. You're going to see a lot of them go way out to the left and then bring it back across. We don't need to do that with this car. Again, we have downforce. This is a gentle enough of a curve where you don't have to worry about feathering the throttle or doing, just dialing the steering you need to. You can take it full throttle. You can hold the inside. You'll feel a little bumpies here or there through it, but I think ideally for me, into the corner, I'm probably going to give myself, a little bit of a wiggle room on the inside. I don't really want to get so far to the inside that I've got the right side tires on the inside curbing, because that can, if I hit a bad bump, that could upset the car and push it out a little bit. So I just say, cheat inside a little bit. There's multiple lines through here. Uh, but as I exit, I will let the car come out to about mid-track, maybe a little bit past middle, and then I'll start bringing it back across for the setup for the second chicane. Braking for me, the nice thing, at least with this car and with the braking line, the bridge and the orange on this arm coat should be your guide. As far as if you can't see the braking line, you got somebody in front of you, just kind of keep that bridge in mind, or in sight, knowing that you're really going to have to. It's like you're going to need to really be on the brakes just as you get to that bridge, just as you get underneath it. And this one, I was originally doing it in second gear. I really think balance-wise, this can be done in third. So I'm going to brake. I'm really not, I don't have a definitive spot where I'm releasing. I'm kind of trying to get my eyes on the initial apex here. The other thing on Thursday night with race regs, those tire bundles won't be there. So you'll actually have probably a little bit better vision, at least to both parts of the chicane. But I'm going to drop it to third. And again, as I always say, left, right, I'm going to try as best I can. I'm still trying to find the right line out, but what I'm trying to do is sacrifice a little bit of this entry here so I can keep the car as much to the left as I can, so it opens the chicane out here onto the next straight down to Lesmo. And I'm going to use a little bit of the inside curbing. Again, I'm trying to stay off the red bread loaf curbs as much as I can. And more often than not, I'll probably be late coming out of here and be all the way over to the left side. So we'll see how it goes in the race. But I'm trying to get that so I have the nice acceleration out. Heading down to Lesmo 1 and 2. Fourth gear at this point. This one, there's really no definitive reference point that I can suggest for here. So I'm relying on the braking line a little bit. You might base it off of what gear you're in, what the car feels like, timing. When I was running initial laps on controller, I do this in third. I think actually fourth will work as well. So it depends on comfort here. I notoriously turn in early for this corner, though I think the turn-in point is right about, the ideal turn-in point is right about where you reach where the access road here joins the track. I tend to turn in early, but you can bring it just about get it to the curb, maybe give yourself a little wiggle room there, roll back into the throttle, let the car drift out. You can use a little bit of the exit curb, but don't, I would say try and be neat and tidy if you can. For setting up for the braking for Lesmo 2, I like doing it in fourth gear on my own. Now, if I'm in traffic, I might drop it to third. But what I'm using, what I'm using as a reference point, and it's tough to see, and I want to point, knowing that I'm pointing, and you can't see what I'm pointing at. But if you look at my virtual mirror, on the right side, straight down, you see those couple of little branches that are hanging out there. Whatever that tree is, let me turn the controller back on. I don't know if I can. Let me slide up there a little bit more. So those same branches that I'm referencing are now kind of right beside the mirror. So it's what my eyes are going to. Maybe if there's a different setting, but it's the two ones they kind of hang out. That's the tree I'm kind of using as a static reference heading into Lesmo 2. So usually as I'm getting to that, as that's going out of view, it's just as I get past that, it's a quick brake, fourth gear. Again, this is another one I probably turned a little earlier than I should. But what I'm trying to do is I am trying to use the inside curbing as much as I can. Get on that inside curbing, roll back into the throttle, fourth gear. You can use a little bit of the exit curbing, merge the car back on, fourth gear up, fifth gear. I will keep the car to the left side and just let the corner's just the track's just going to kink to the left a little bit and just let the car just kind of naturally drift over to the right side. Heading up for Ascari. Now Ascari, much like the second chicane, I'm using the Audi gantry here, and the Armco, the orange colored Armco, is kind of a reference point if I can't see the braking line, if I'm following somebody, just to know that if I get to there, I'm going to need to start braking or thinking about braking. So on your own, you're going to brake just as you get to the orange. This Ascari I'm going to do it in third gear. So the entry to Ascari, my tendency is I always tend to carry a little too much speed in. But what I'm trying to do is if I do it right, is I'll be able to bring the car in, use the inside curbing here, bring the car, I'll probably be bringing it most of the way across the track. I don't want to go all the way across. I want to maybe just cheat a little bit to the, cheat a little bit right of half track or mid track, because I do want a little bit of space between me and the curbing as I turn in for the second part. Now this is where I'm still trying to figure out, I think I know what I want to do, and I think I know what'll work best. Pardon me, but I'm still trying to sort it out with this car, and especially with the wheel, because I think ideally for the second part of the Ascari, and especially then the exit onto the back stretch, you do want to use the inside curbing. You do want to get the car on this inside curbing. It's just when and how much, and what's the ideal time to then come off of it, so that you're not getting time penalties and you're not severely upsetting the car. So what I'm going to be trying to do is as I'm going to try and get on the curbing late, probably, if I have to look at reference, like how am I looking at, you can see, there we go. You can see the first part of this curbing, you've got the striped curbing, and you've got the little bit of extra solid green pavement, and then it just kind of goes to this kind of mix of grass pavement curbing here on the inside. So I think I'm going to try and get on to that as much as I can and follow that, and then come off of it. And if I've done it right, and this is probably a little bit earlier than I should, but the whole idea is I'm trying to open this up as this next left-hand corner out of Ascari. I'm trying to open it up as much as I can, and you can be neat and tidy and stay off the inside curbing. But I think to get a really good fast lap and a good run onto the backstretch, you're going to want to use the inside curbing there, and you're going to want to clip the curbing on the inside here. Let the car come all the way out to the right side, maybe cross over the white line a little bit and onto the backstretch. a scar. That's my intention. I don't know how well or how consistent I'll be with that, and it's going to be very easy. I think that's talking about risk versus reward as far as lap times and pace. You'll get good lap time, you'll get good momentum onto the backstretch, if you use the curbing. But the risk is time penalties because you've used too much of it or you've cut the corner too much. So be that as it may, we'll see how I do in the mock race when I get some laps under me. For me, Parabolica, last corner. Parabolica, I'm using, in addition to the braking line, I'm braking right at the end of the red tarmac here on the left side. It seems to be the good, if I can't see the braking line, that patch of red there on the left is a good reference point. Fourth or third gear, I will leave that up to you. If you leave it in fourth, you're really going to want to make sure you get braking done. What I'm aiming for as far as turn in, kind of kind of following the suggested line, I think ideally you want to try and be on the inside of the corner as you get below or as you get to this the TV camera platform here on the right. And I'm going to hold the inside. And what I'm looking for, as far as when I know I can start committing back to the throttle, it's this first light. This first, I don't think it's a light pole. I think it's a sound, speaker pole here. It's just by the lap 3 there. That pole, between that pole and then definitely by the time you get to the orange Armco. So I would say start experimenting where you feel comfortable rolling back into the throttle. I would say definitely by the end of here, you should be at full throttle by the time, or at least on your way to full throttle by the time you get to the orange Armco. And this is where I will differ from the braking line or the suggested line a little bit. I think it suggests holding the inside line a little bit longer than I will. I'll start to let the car drift out. I won't let it come all the way out as much as, say, you would do it like in the modern F1 cars where you see them do at Monza. They're all way wide out right along the green there. I'll probably be somewhere in between. I'll let the car start to drift out so I can stay in full throttle and I can start to unwind that wheel. So I might be about mid-track as I get under the BMW sign here. But usually then what I'm aiming to is I do flirt with the curbing and the white line on exit, where I'll cross over just a little bit and then just be back on the track at this point for the exit of Parabolica. The other thing you need to really keep in mind, and I've gotten burned on this in the past, is this is, the exit. If you're going to hold the inside line, fine, but just know that the white line on the inside of the front straightaway, it is possible to violate track limits if you cross over too much on that one. So if you're trying to make an inside move, a crossover on the inside and exit, just be mindful of that white line on the inside because you can very easily hit track limits and get time penalties there. So that's Monza. I mean, you're back to full throttle at this point, start finish, and you start the next lap. So a lot fewer turns than Silverstone, but let's go ahead and finish the test drive and get into the mock race and see how well we do. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to still same car, same classes, and same delays I had it at Silverstone. I just, it's one of those, again, the driver tires, depending on the track you're on, sometimes, the slower traffic that I'm trying to get out, it's like I want to be able to, have some racing at the end of the race, and trying to set up some late race passing, but doesn't always work out that way. So we'll still start the 70s F1 cars up front. About 15 seconds later, we will start the P2 cars. And then starting behind before is a P1, 2 seconds after I go. So it looks like I've got the Audi, the Porsche, and two Audis now behind me. Okay, well, no Peugeot. I was hoping for the Nissan, because that P1 Nissan GTR, it'll kill us all here just on the straight line, because there's just so much full throttle driving here. So, all right, we'll get started here in a second as I try to talk and make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. And away we go. And we'll see how good my questionable racecraft is. Well, that's probably a little more curve than I would want to use. But very nice and easy, holding the inside. You got a couple bumps. Pushing. Again, as I said, I'm notorious for carrying too much speed into the corner. Do third gear this time and turned in too early. That was decent. And if I can do that consistently, I think that'll be fine. Yeah, so I'm really committing back to full throttle just as I get to that. Whoop, that's a little too wide. Just as I get to the red Armco, you know, marking there at the end of the barrier, and they're catching. Well, that's late. Again, you know, if you can hold since we can hold the inside full throttle, I mean, you can. I don't think you'll be able to set up a pass on the outside. You know, around the outside of Curva Grande, unless the other cars totally, you know, bork the exit of the first chicane there. So I'm probably going to catch traffic at the Parabolica. Hawk, and this is going to be a fun front straight. Third this time, just to give me a little better turn in. I'm gonna go slightly defensive because the P1 cars are gonna certainly catch me into braking here. And then we gotta navigate. So I'm gonna do first gear here, be very gentle on the throttle out. Come on. Just pull that turbo up. Alright, we're gonna take a look. Gonna have that there. Excuse me. I'll leave some room there. That's about as well as I can take that now. I don't trust him. And then I was too close. That's what I wanted to do. I did want to do that crossover, but I should have backed off a little bit more. And the Audi's taking a big look on the Bronner Hawk. Pushing a little bit. little bit past the 150 board. So even in between, after you get the braking done, if you've done it right, you get the braking done for that first chicane. In between the right and the left, I'm off the throttle. I'm not really trying to roll back into the throttle until I'm out of the chicane. I'm going to do second gear here just because I'm a little bit further inside than I want to be. Again, turned in too early. So again, for Lesmo 1 and 2, you can do both of those turns. If you feel more comfortable in fourth, great. You could do them in third if you want as well. Yeah, it's probably a little more of that right side curbing than that I use than I probably should. The third gear, what am I doing? Give myself a little space. He's going to be really slow out of the next corner. Ooh, that cut that a little close. I would say for Ascari, just get comfortable using the curbing. A little bit late on the turn in there, but that's all right. Same thing here. I'm probably going to carry a lot more speed out of Lesmo 2 than the Mazda, or maybe not. That was a good draft. Good time penalty there, but I wanted to leave some room. That's what happens if you use too much inside curbing. So it's just finding that right amount. Still haven't lost that Audi back there. gonna look inside just to give me a little bit of room in case I totally fork the braking. Got a nice little, yep, there we go. Let's see, so I guess I should pit about lap 10. Oh. A little too much curving on the entry to Ascari, but I think I was fine on the other parts of it. All right. Am I gonna get a good draft here? Is this a good draft? Yeah, finally got a good draft. Ooh. Excuse me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Yeah, I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna leave a little room on the inside. I got one good draft. That's not good. Can't shake the Audi. Gonna chance it on the right side. Don't hit me. It's just kind of that because, you know, the natural line is to come back across. Sometimes I always worry that the driver tires will not know that I am there. Ford, looks like the Ford Daytona prototype held up the Audi at the Parabolica. That's good news. I won't catch them out of Lesma 2. I'll be right on their tails out of Ascari. Smart, I give myself a little bit of space to try and get the run down the Parabolica, but that's assuming I'm smart. Okay, so pit in is, I mean, Silverstone's a very easy pit in, so is Monza. Just hug the inside on the way out. And in we go. All right. On pit lane. Again, pit out is just going to spit us out straight, you know, on the right side, heading towards the chicane. If there's traffic, you know, stay to the right of the white line. If there's no traffic, then you can go ahead and move. I think you can go ahead and move over early, but yeah, I'm going to have clear traffic. I'm just going to hold it to the inside because I want to get an idea of, wow, and it spits you out in first gear. So I'm just going to hold to the inside here, and yeah, you can bring about the 100 board, but if you keep it all the way here, it's going to be tight. And then you're back on the racing line. So we are down in 10th. And I don't think, well, I know the leading Audi P1 hasn't hit it yet. Oh, cold tires. It's just a question of again, once those P1 cars get in, you know, get into clear, you know, get clear air, there's no way I'm gonna be able to make up that pace. So my hope is that the driver cars are stupid and pit while they're still in traffic, and then when they come out of the pits are even in more traffic. That's my only shot. All right, so I'll get Porsche, Penske Porsche in front of me. Definitely going to outdrag him down to the Parabolica, so I am going to take a look on the inside. And yeah, I will have him clear, but I'm going to hold the inside just so I can practice what that feels like. Probably best to go down to third. And just take the normal line out. Got to run on the McLaren in front of me. Might be able to get my second good draft. Oh. Denied. Oh, and I messed up the braking there. Yeah, just keep checking the map behind. It's like, do I see any yellow dots behind me? Turned in early. That's what we're talking about. You know, if you're going to use the curbing, use a lot. I was just on it a little bit and it just unsettled the car because I just barely touched it instead of really just abusing it. And there's the yellow behind me. Yeah, the suggested line wants you to take a little bit more of a late apex on the entry to that chicane. And who knows, maybe that is the better way through there. That's me trying to be neat and tidy there. Ooh, one of them's in the pits. A little late getting back to throttle. It looks like, yep. Alright, so I'm back to the effective lead, but I do have somebody behind me that's going to make my life difficult. Looks like the Audi. The other Audi. The coupe. Oh, third gear. Oh, that was late. I'm going wide. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, 5 laps to go? I'm probably going to have company here at the end of this lap, unless the problem holds them up. And then wouldn't surprise me if we all catch the leading P2 car at the same time. Come on, stay on track. Ooh, that's probably about as much curbing as I want to take. So There's something interesting. I was off the inside curbing there, so I tried to bring the car onto it to set up for the last corner, and that Ferrari didn't like that. Okay, so I'm in the lead with 4 laps to go. At least one P1 car behind me. Up 2. So 6.3. It was about 6 seconds at the line, I think. But they should be able to. Figure I may only have a lap or 2 on my own before they catch me. And I'm starting to miss apexes. And going wide. Yeah, and I'm not being really bad on my braking. Bad on my braking, bad on my steering, bad on my throttle control. But then the recovery with that was like as soon as, I was starting to get into a tank slapper, it's just no brake, no throttle, just get out of both of them, get the car straight, and then start rolling back in. Seems to work best with this car. But I just lost half the lead that I had, but I think I can hold them off. Focus forward. Focus forward. Traffic may play a factor in this. Bad entry there. Laps to go. And I'm not going to catch the tail end of the field on next lap, so that's good. It just comes down to not screwing up. Hit my marks. Should be able to stay ahead of them. Ooh, that little too much curving. You saw the left front get off the ground. Yep, looks like I got it. As I almost screw up the parabolica. All right, that's Monza in the Ferrari. 49.30. So what was the race time on that? The race says 33:59. So yeah, I would say 19 laps is probably what we'll do on Thursday night. So with that, that's gonna do it for the track guides for this week. Hope you guys have had a great weekend, and knock on wood, if hopefully won't have any emergencies this Thursday at work, that I can come out and race with you guys again. So have a great week. We'll see you Thursday. Happy racing.